Hello and welcome to Freedom Through Astrology, where we're giving you the keys to living your best possible life. It's freedomthrougughastrology.com. My name is Donald Patak. I'm your astrologer, and there's my contact information, standard YouTube copyright. Uh, just to go over a few keys to the reading so you understand why I'm reading the way I'm reading, because I do read different than modern astrologers. First of all, I read what's called sidereal astrology, which is astrology by the visible sky. Tropical astrology fixes the signs to seasons. So every spring equinox, it's Aries, and the tropical astrologers will tell you we're in Aries. I'm going to tell you tomorrow on the spring equinox, where the sun rising? It's in Pisces. So I read the visible sky. It's similar to Vedic astrology, but different. And how is it a little different? I'm using the natural size of the constellations because they are all different sizes. Vedic astrology and some tropical astrologers have each sign the same size. In reality, Virgo is huge, Pisces, rather large, Leo, very large. Um, Cancer, Scorpio, Aries, all very small. So the constellations all vary in different sizes. So in reading the visible sky, I'm reading the constellations in their natural size. I use what are called the astrological midpoints developed by Athens Shementi. Uh, the current boundaries that many people read by are drawn by the IAU, and they're arbitrary. And it's like, why is that boundary there? Because no rhyme or reason the way they draw the boundaries. Athens looked at the zodiac belt and using some geometry, figured out the midpoint between the constellations. And I use those. I think they work better. That's been my experience. I read 13 signs. I do have a book here called The Lost Zodiac by Catherine Tennant, and it does mention that in the ancient times there was a 13th sign, and it was a fucus, the wounded healer. It's where you're wounded in your life so that you can learn how to heal yourself and then heal others with similar wounds. Okay. These are the weekly transits. These are the universal lessons to everyone. So this is transiting planet to transiting planet. There is another reading that I do, which is transiting to the natal or birth planet. I do not cover that here. That's a reading that you have to buy. But what I'm reading here are the universal lessons that everybody is learning. So if you see someone struggling, you know why. If you're struggling, hopefully you know why and you can do something about it for yourself first. And I interpret or I read using what's called evolutionary astrology. Some astrologers are very fatalistic in the way they read. Um, I'm studying with the Forest Center for Evolutionary Astrology, and what evolutionary astrology teaches is that the planets and the constellations, even the houses, are offering you lessons to learn. And the idea is to learn these lessons. And there's the interpretation I'm giving, which is this is the lesson you came here to learn. I read you what's also called the shadow, which is if you bomb this lesson, this was what it could look like. Be careful because I have a cat named Shadow, and if I say that word enough times, she tends to run up to me wondering why I'm calling her. And before I jump into the week, I do want to say happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody, whether you're wearing the blue, the orange, the green, whatever. Enjoy your day. Have a happy St. Patty's. I'm recording this on Sunday. This is the weekly transit report for March 18th through the 24th. These are the major transits I'll be covering. The moon is actually fairly stable. Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo. If you know anything about Leo moons, you're laughing. But the moon is fairly stable especially with that long transit in Leo. Mercury will be conjunct the north node of the moon and Chiron, and in opposition to the south node. So it's learning about leaving bad habits behind, realizing the good habit, and healing and transforming the way you learn and communicate, which is nice. Venus, planet of relationships, also creativity. I like to throw creativity in there. Will be conjunct with Saturn, learning self-discipline, and Jupiter, dreaming, seeing something bigger, better, and brighter. We do have a sign change. Mars is leaving the get stuff done sign of Capricorn, having the courage to have self-discipline, and moving into Aquarius, learning to be yourself. And the sun is making an aspect to Pluto, so it's integrating healing. First step in that journey we're making. So let us begin. And this is the overview of the week. I like to do this just to show you where the energy is. And it is fairly steady throughout the week. 18th is Monday, as you can see. It is fairly steady, and it calms down over the weekend, which is good. On the 25th, it's not on here. I didn't print it out, but there is a lunar eclipse on the 25th. So there, towards the weekend, if you start feeling a little energetic intensity, that's why. This is the lunar eclipse that will precede the solar eclipse on the April 8th. But as you can see, the energy here, however, very steady. You start out, and it's organized nicely too. You're dealing with all the Mercury stuff, the Sun and Pluto, and then the Venus. So it's very, very nice. And then the moon starts in Gemini, goes into Cancer, and then on the 20th through the 24th, it's in Leo. Again, this nice long stretch here. Beautiful. All right, Chiron in Pisces. We're finishing up this long transit. Chiron in Pisces. Chiron, learning how to heal yourself in Pisces, so being able to transcend the wounds and release them. He's in opposition. In this case, I'm going to say it's a reflection to the South Node in Virgo. And I call the South Node, when I'm reading it in transits, the habits that you use to hold yourself back from being your best self and being your higher self. And in Virgo, what it is being is a perfectionist and holding itself to too high of a standard and too high expectations. So this transit is reflecting on how impossible standards have wounded you and how you can heal yourself from them and transcend them. That's the ideal. So I call it, my little note here says reflecting on the past. And yeah, so reflecting on the past so that you can heal from it and release the wounds and move into the future. Discussion group I'm in, the one moderator always says the enemy of good enough is perfection. Because if you're waiting for things to get perfect, it's never going to happen. Go for good enough. And who knows, good enough might give you the feedback that you need to make it perfect in the eyes of the person you're doing it for. The shadow is hanging on to the wounds and then living in denial, which leads to a deeper wounding and trying to escape. My note here says, seeking to escape will leave you running around in a maze that has no exits. So this is just leading yourself into lost. This has been a very long transit. It's covered a good chunk of March. All right, this one started on Saturday and it ends on Monday. It will be ending on Monday, early Monday. The Sun conjunct Neptune in Pisces, and this is integrating your spiritual self or your higher self, is the way I have my notes here. It's a time to integrate your true spirituality. The Sun represents the ego, who you really are and who you really came here to become. You came here to learn to have a healthy ego, not let go of the ego. Yeah, let go of the unhealthy expression of the ego. Learn what a healthy expression of it is. If you want to know what a healthy ego for you is, look at what the sun sign is on your birth chart. During this time, it's about, for you right now, it's, using spirituality to help you realize what that is. I would say that. And Neptune is about listening. If I could characterize Neptune, make Neptune into a character, Neptune would be that meditating monk, or that monk or priest or a nun in prayer listening. Neptune's about listening, about receiving. So this is time to integrate true spirituality, learning to listen to spirit, learning to listen to that inner guidance, higher self, whatever you believe in. I will never preach religion to you, because you know what your spirituality is and how you connect and work with the divine. This is about you learning that lesson right now and receiving those lessons so that you can integrate them and release what's not working for you. Taking the next step on your personal path of growth. And learning to have faith and trust in your intuition. Sometimes you just know that you know that you know. Trust it. It's a good thing. Expect opportunities also to work with spiritual teachers, spiritual people who can help you learn what your path is, may come forth, which is awesome. And be open to dreams and other psychic experiences. those type of experiences can give you important information. The shadow is falling into fantasy or other escapist practices that can mislead you. Also thinking that you're more enlightened than you really are. You know, you're not a guru up on a mountain. You're down on the earth with the rest of us here. Also falling into illusions and self-delusion can lead into an inflated sense of self. And my note after that I wrote is, note, the balloon will break. It will be popped. Someone will pop it for you. Yeah, if you're, and the other quip that I have that I wrote in my daily blog on this is being so heavenly minded that you're of no earthly good. If your spirituality isn't making this world a better place to live in, why do it? But yeah, the key thing here is to be listening and receiving, and then being able to release what's no longer serving you. And we have the moon in Gemini. The moon, your soul, is open to curiosity and wanting to learn new things and being open to new information. So expect new and different experiences to present themselves to you. Be open to what they are and what they have to offer. Curiosity. You know, if something strikes you and you're curious and you want to learn more about it, you know, this is why it's coming to you. So pay attention to that. The shadow of this transit is talking too much can lead you to missing an important opportunity, or the other side of is refusing to listen. The shadow of Gemini is thinking that you know it all or can't learn. So either you're talking to avoid learning, or you're just you're not listening to what people have to say and refusing to learn that way. It also can be a defensive tactic that results in a loss of learning, which is really a wound if you think about it. So that's where we're beginning the week. 2 transits that are coming to an end, and with the moon in Gemini, curious on Monday. And Mars, the planet of courage and assertiveness, is entering Aquarius, individuality. So having the courage to be your authentic self. So during this transit, what is it? You're having, be you, have the courage to be your authentic self. Give you an example. Everybody out here is talking about the Buffalo Bill. I live outside of Buffalo, so everybody's talking about the Buffalo Bills, the Buffalo Sabres, and I'm like, I'm actually getting ready for the next rugby game. And I really don't watch sports. This is about you having the courage to be who you really are, not because the crowd's doing it, but because it interests you authentically, and having the courage to say, no, that really doesn't appeal to me, and I'd rather do this. So there's that. Courage to be your authentic self. Learn to see life from your perspective. Asking bold questions and expecting answers. Know that conflicts and disagreements can be a part of life and be done in a respectful manner. It doesn't have to be a yelling and shouting and angry match. That's the shadow. But you know what? I'm asserting myself. There's a difference between being assertive and being a jerk. You know, I don't like football. You like football. It's your cup of tea. Drink it. My cup of tea, rugby. If you like it, enjoy it. It's not your cup of tea. Don't drink it. It's like, you'll hear me say that so many times. The shadow, Mars the shadow of Mars is fear, and it's either anger or cowardice. And in Aquarius, you be angry and being this wildly eccentric person, or being angry and a conformist and selling out and angry because you sold out. Or the other shadow of is fear, so it's cowardice. So being cowed into and bullied into what other people want you to do and what you think what they think you should be doing, and so it's being bullied and being pushed around. That's the shadow of Mars in Aquarius. Make the choice. And our other transit today, Mercury, planet of learning and communication, conjunct the North Node, an evolutionary intention or a very specific lesson to learn this in this lifetime. It's in Pisces, so this is about release, transcending, seeing it from a higher perspective, a different perspective, so it can be released. Pisces, I think one of the major lessons of Pisces is being able to release. It's also about seeing things from different perspectives and knowing which perspective you're seeing it from. I have a great, anytime it's the sun in Pisces, I got this great lesson I like to use. But my notes here say, be open to learning information that can help you fulfill your evolutionary intention in this lifetime. The goal is to learn the information or skills that can help you release what is holding you back. So you're learning this, being open to it, receiving it, so that you can grow and become more of your authentic self. I do a reading, which is called a karmic reading, which is about it can be read two different ways, but there's two parts. There's the south node, which is how you hold yourself back and the patterns that hold you back. But then there's the north node, how you release them. This is my cat toes walking across the computer. Sorry. So, but the north node is how you release that karma, how you release that habit or pattern. So right here, Mercury is learning the habits and patterns that are that it needs to learn so that it can release what's holding you back. And let's see, the shadow of this transit is trying to hide from the knowledge or learn ways to numb the pain from the past. Any way to, and I have this in quote, escape fate. And by fate, I mean a lesson. Escape the lesson. I think fate's a lousy choice of words. I'm going to change that on the blog. Okay. We have another, don't walk on the computer, please. Yeah, I have 3 kittens in my house. Tuesday on the 18th, Mercury in Pisces is in opposition to the South Node. So the North Node is how you release. What are you releasing? South Node in Virgo, perfectionism. How has perfectionism held you back? I think the lessons are a little backwards here, but that's the way, you know. So expect information on Monday. Hey, here, do this. Gee, why? Tuesday, you're being told, hey, this is how you hold yourself back. So this perfectionism that is never going to be realized. So you're being able to reflect on perfectionism and how that's held you back, and be able to use that information with the North Node to help you release that so that you can move into. And it's this is a progress. It takes time to learn how to do this. And let's see. So learning to reflect and hold yourself back from new and how the new information you were receiving is helping you to transcend those limitations. The shadow is seeing the problems and limitations of the past and seeking ways to numb the pain. Falling, and this is just falling more into the perfectionism and falling more into being a control freak and trying to control things and literally getting lost in the maze of perfectionism. So that's the shadow of this. And also on Tuesday, Mercury conjunct Chiron. So Mercury, I should have used a different picture where Mercury was closer. Oh, well. So Mercury, learning and communication, Chiron, how you heal. So it's healing your ability to learn, healing your ability to communicate. And remember, 2 parts to communication: listening or understanding what the other person is saying. And then I'm going to use listening and speaking. It can be reading and writing. As long as there's that two-way street where you're understanding the other person and you're able to communicate yourself clearly. So this is about healing your ability to learn, healing your ability to communicate. And so the intention of this learn how to heal and transcend the wounds in your abilities to learn and communicate. Also be open to higher knowledge. You know, because it's in Pisces, which I forgot to circle, which is right, annotate it there. It's in Pisces, so it's about transcending, and this will help you get over it and see it from a different perspective so it can be released. This is a good time to release what's been holding you back in that area of life. The shadow is falling deeper into these wounds and feeling like more of a know-it-all or that you can't learn. Either way, learning and communication gets shut down. And and in Pisces, it's about escapism, numbing the pain. Escapism, numbing the pain, and trying to get away. Again, I like that analogy of getting lost in a maze with no exits. And also on Tuesday, the moon enters Cancer. This will be a quick transit, about a day-ish or so long. Give yourself a break. Take time to be gentle with yourself. Cancer is the sign of the crab. It's about being nurturing and protective. So protect yourself a little bit. You know, if you're a little sensitive, hey, that's fine. There's a way to do that protect and it's about the moon, which is about your soul and your emotions and how you're feeling. The moon is also how you heal. It's in the one book I was reading. So the transiting moon can be about how you heal as well. So it's learning to heal, about being able to protect yourself while you're healing as well. So give yourself a break, take time to be gentle with yourself, be open to opportunities to heal and receive healing. Also, time alone and practicing self-care and nurturing can be good. So this may be a little bit of a solitary time, which is okay. The shadow, falling into a whiny mood and playing the victim, can sour people to you and also attract the wrong attention. So if you think, the shadow of this, I love the old quip. It's a Southern quip. I don't remember who was it that I was on a tape I was listening to. The guy said, people who throw pity parties don't have a lot of people attending, and people who do attend don't bring gifts. So, yeah, holding a pity party is going to draw all the wrong attention and get you the wrong intentions and bring the wrong people into your life. So, yeah. So that's the moon in Cancer. Wednesday. Okay, we have the sun in Pisces in a sextile to Pluto in Capricorn. The sun in Pisces is the self, is your ego, learning to transcend, again, a little bit about spirituality, etc. And Capricorn in Pisces is Capricorn. Pluto in Capricorn. Pluto in Capricorn. Pluto is about a deep healing. And what else do I have in here? It's also about integrating the deep work, doing the deep work of transformation. A sextile is excitement and interest. Not a long time ago, we had the sun conjunct Pluto. So there was an intention set there. This is the first major aspect. So this is an excitement about that work, about this transformation. So this is a time to integrate the deep spiritual truths into your life and feel the excitement of doing that and knowing that these deep truths can be integrated. The shadow of the sun is, we know, that out of control ego, or the other shadow is refusing to shine. Sun that collapses in on itself is known as a black hole or a dark star. So it's either shining brighter than you need to, or not, refusing to shine at all. And it's not out of humility. It's about, not thinking that you're good enough. So the shadow is falling into fear, and turning away from an opportunity to heal. And you can hurt others, or you may hurt others in the way that you were hurt in doing this. So this can be an opportunity for great healing and transformation, or deep wounding. Take your pick. Also, Venus is going to be conjunct Saturn in Aquarius. Venus, relationships, receiving help from others, resting and recovering. Also, I'd like to put art in here, the music, the creative arts like drawing, the different mediums, etc. So, and Saturn is about maturity. So this is in maturing in your relationships, maturing in your ability to receive help, maturing in your ability to be creative. And in Aquarius, it's about becoming more of your individual self. So my notes here, learning to grow and mature in your relationships, maturing in your creativity, a little time of growing up here, learning to be your authentic self. Fix up that typo. It's also a realization that relationships, creativity take time and effort. This isn't a microwave meal. This is the Thanksgiving dinner where you're putting the turkey in the oven for hours and hours. And oh, does that taste so nice? This is not about going to McDonald's. This is going to a 5-star restaurant, okay? whatever you put in comes back to you. You know, no deposit, no return. You put a lot of work and effort into it and expect great things. The shadow is loneliness. Um, it can be from hanging around with the old crowd and people you've always known instead of meeting new people. Also, playing the copycat or getting mixed up with the wrong people because you can. You know, it's this transit can be more isolating. So the healthy part is you're growing and maturing in your relationships. The shadow is you becoming more isolated and more trapped in relationships. And also on Wednesday, the moon enters Leo. And it'll be there until Sunday. So this is a long transit of Leo. Leo likes to be expressive, likes to be seen, wants to be seen, and appreciation is the other thing. It's not just being seen to be seen, it's being appreciated for, you know, what for that. And the moon is your soul, so it's being open to the opportunity to express yourself, be seen, having fun. Leo enjoys a good time. So maybe you're meeting new people and finding new fun things to do. Be open to it. Combining this with the Venus in Aquarius, they're running along the same times. Maybe you find a new crowd to run with. It'd be a wonderful thing. Um, Another thing, like I said, is appreciation, being appreciated. You know, hey, when you did this, I really liked that because, you know, it's appreciation. Um, Playing to the crowd, you know, telling people what they want to hear, or in settling for style over substance, meaning the opportunity is missed. You know, the other quip I like to make about this is shadow over substance. What's that line? There's a Genesis song, Home by the Sea, shadows but no substance in the shape of men, round and round and sideways they go. The shadow of this is being your phony self and trying to people please, and it doesn't work and it's not going to. And then we go till Saturday. Venus in Aquarius in a sextile or excitement to Jupiter in Aries. And this is closing in. So this is like a second wind, so to speak. Venus is in Aquarius is you being your authentic self in relationships. Jupiter in Aries is having the courage to dream big. And my notes here, and again, you know, Venus, you know, dreaming big about relationships, new relationships, new friendships, new ways of being creative and authentic. That speak to you. And my notes here say find ways to have authentic fun and have the courage to be real, being generous in spirit and sharing the joy that you find in life in the ways that are real and true to you, and expecting from help from others who believe in you is another thing. I had that written as a note and it spoke to me. You know, there are people who do want to help you and do want to see you succeed. Be open to them. The shadow can be overreaching or underreaching in relationships, asking for more or less than what the relationship really supports. And thinking that you're less worthy is underreaching, you know. You could also come across as being foolish, entitled, underwhelming. You know, it's like, who is this person? Yeah, they're who they are. I don't know why they sell themselves short. They're capable of so much more. That type of stuff. But ideally, you know, this is that second win where you're learning to have more fun. I'm gonna call it at that. And on Sunday, the moon enters Virgo, and this is later in the day. Virgo is about being better and improving yourself. So this is a time. This is starting on Sunday. This will be our beginning transit for the next for next week. It'll go. Virgo is the largest constellation in the sky, so this will go for several days into next week. It's a time for self-evaluation to see where growth can be helpful in your life, and the lunar eclipse will be in here as well. So be open to help from teachers and mentors who can arise to help you. The shadow of this is falling into perfectionism and crippling self-criticism, and that can become very destructive. So ideally on Sunday, you're starting to reflect about yourself and where and how you can improve with your life and making those plans. Virgo loves plans. All right, and so there we go. I am going and I'm redoing my website, and I've been doing readings like this for some people, and the feedback has been nothing short of incredible. So I'm changing the way that I'm doing my readings. I'll do a longer video on this later. Um, but when you order the reading, what you're going to get is you're going to get the reading via recording, and you're going to be able to view it. And I say view it at least twice. First time to get your first impression and get that wow factor, and then the second time to that you view it, um, really developing what you want to learn and finding those things that you're curious about and want to know more about. Maybe there's something that you see on the chart that you want that I didn't cover in depth and you want me to cover more in depth. That's fine. You'll schedule our one-to-one, and then when we're in that one-to-one, you're asking me the questions that you want to learn more about your chart and being able to learn your chart more deeply so that the information is more useful to you. And the sense that I've had from people and the feedback I've got from people is the readings are great, but people aren't getting the time to ask the questions that they really want to learn. Especially when I have a couple readings that are back to back and I'm feeling rushed and harried. And so this really puts the power back into your hands so that you've got the reading, you've got the information, you can download the recordings, and you get the time to ask me the questions for what you want more information on. I've talked to other astrologers and they're doing it this way and they're finding incredible success for people. So this is the new way I'm going to be doing it. You're still going to get the reading. And if the reading, me doing it, because I had one reading, it wound up taking like an hour and a half. And I had, when I was just doing my practice run on it, and we had to cut off like an hour. And I was like, if I've got to cut something off in an hour, what do I remove? Everything in the chart is important to me. So this new reading way of doing the reading says you're getting everything because you're getting it in a recording, and then you're going to be able to take and ask me questions about the chart and being able to take those parts deeper and get more meaning and more value and being able to take that information and use that information more personally. So there's that. Want to cover that really quickly. I'm on my website. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. I'm in the Digital Soul space, which is there's a free version and a paid version. People say, why do I want to pay for something when I've got these for free? These guys it's free because they're taking your data and making billions of dollars off of it. This is a secure website, no trolls, anything, privacy number one. And there's astrology and so many other different modalities all in one area, and you can pick and choose what you want. And the moderators are great. Michael, Anne Marie, and Kimber, wonderful people. Um, there's that. I do have, let me do this, go to the website. And I'm still doing work on transforming the website, as you can see. Quick six birth chart, and I'm organizing it in a way so that the readings make sense. So the first part is about your birth chart and past life reading. I've almost got the information for the quick pick, which combines these two into one reading. Then I talk about the transiting chart, which is the horoscope, why you pick up your newspaper. So I look at what I call a life cycle, yearly, quarterly, monthly readings, and then coming soon, these are packages. I just have to just finish up a little typing and posting the links and etc. But these are you're buying readings bundled together. If you bought them individually, they cost you a lot, but I've got a discount and bonuses figured into each of these. So that's a work in progress. This is the new site, and I'm rearranging things. It's more logical. I think it's better. Uh, if you click on subscribe, let me get this out of the way. The toolbar's in my way. If you click on subscribe, I do the once a week email newsletter where you get a summary of the major events, astrological insight, exclusive subscriber only discounts and offers, and then information about live appearances. All I need is an email address. You get one email from me a week-ish. Yeah, one a week. If you click on scheduling, this is where you can book an appointment. This is going to get cleaned up a little bit. I do have the packages listed with more information. Services, this is for the recordings. Like I said, I'm reworking the site, but I still have them there. If you click on blog, as you can see, I got weekly transits, but throughout the week, I do deeper readings on the different transits. So if you want an even deeper reading than what I do in this recording, it's right there. Let me go back here. Start from current slide. So there you go. Thank you very much. Like, follow, share if you can. And this is something that came to me in a I was talking with somebody. I said, in the visible sky, everything changes. And they told me, you got to make sure you use this, because things do change. And I do believe they change for the better. And when you align with the visible sky, your life does change. So thank you very much. Have yourself a good week. See you next week for the next weekly forecast.